This change of guard at the RBI, is this something that might turn the tide? Corporate India as well as large parts of the economy is actually looking for a rate cut. Do you see that happening in February, or should we wait till April?
I kind of think over next 12 months we should see 100 basis point rate cut. Okay, so that's my view. Right now, the biggest challenge for RBI is to deal with rupee. Uh, Mr. Das actually for good 12 months, was protecting currency. And in some sense, a lot of market participants are critical of the decisions that were made then. Uh, for corporate India, actually, the weak currency right now is a better way to sort of protect it instead of cutting rates. That's the first stimulus that you could give because that brings competitiveness to you, right? Especially in manufacturing, it doesn't matter much to the services though. So I think the first reflex of the new governor is to let go of currency, and which is why we've seen a rapid depreciation. I think it's more likely that we behave like China or perhaps even worse than China in terms of currency depreciation over next 12 months. And, there's Indian exceptionalism in terms of our currency performance actually will stop. And that is the first stimulus that I'm looking for from RBI. Second thing, which all of us, would want at some point in time is that RBI loosens up a little bit in terms of their guards with respect to unsecured finance. Policy tightening has been extreme, and to some extent, access to money itself has become very difficult for small financiers. So I think loosening up a bit there actually is second demand from the corporate India. Finally, rate cuts, would come in. That's more like a global macro proxy. Its impact is shallow in India. So I'm not that. This is not as if I were a CFO of a large company or an NBFC. I would rather have loosening of, regulatory constraints and actually letting go of rupee instead of, easing up rates. So in terms of priorities, I still need the first two things done. Then the rate cuts come. Your question on rates, it's almost very, very certain that India will have to cut rates. We need to cross January though, Shailesh, because we have a Trump coming in, and we frankly don't know what sort of tariffs he will impose, and would
Yes.
India also be part of that trauma? I hope it is not, and but if there were to be sort of major tariffs, in Indian services or otherwise, the rate cuts actually somewhat become untenable at
Huh.
least in near term.